Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Shy City. Good evening, Shy friends. It's Miss Frankie Parker
And Nycee.
welcome to the Frankie and Nycee radio show on Intellectual Radio, iHeartRadio. Nycee, we have an interesting show today, do we not?
Yes, we do.
We're not going to be too goofy today. It's not going to be about comedy. The last few shows have been absolutely hilarious because we talked about light situations, light topics of discussion. But Nycee, we had to use our platform.
Yes, we do.
What
We're
we gonna
going
talk
in
about?
today, as my brother John Pierce would say.
So I just want to just jump right in because we only have an hour. So we want to make sure that we can get as much covered as possible. So I want to make sure that everyone sees my beautiful guest for today. Y'all check out our guest today. We have Mr. John Pierce and Miss Story Devereaux. Story, get in the screen. I don't know if they can see you.
Yes, they can very well.
Okay. So listen, these two were selected intentionally. Okay. If you are Facebook friends with them, you know that they have absolutely been going in about the topic of discussion today. And we felt that we needed to have some strong opinions and some strong words of encouragement on this panel today. So what better people to have than John and Story. So thank you, John and Story, for being on the show.
Thanks for having
We
me.
appreciate it. So we're just going to get right on in. You want to start out, Nycee? You want to kick it off?
Sure. First off, let me just give you a little background about John and Story. Story, you're a poet, correct?
Yep.
And John is an artist. And lately we've just been talking about artists using their platform. So I'm just really excited that you all are here today. I follow the both of you, and John. Your videos on Facebook have been really getting some really good feedback, or like a lot of views. You want to talk about what's been going on?
Well, in lieu of the situations that's been going on in America, everybody that's been following me on my live videos and my live feeds, they've been seeing me go in, as I say, and I call my videos Fed Up. I just feel like at this point in time in what's going on in the world, we have to stand up. If we're artists, if we're musicians, singers, poets, all the things that we do, we're blessed to have a platform. We need to stand up and speak out on what we believe. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I've been doing. That's what my videos, I've been calling the Fed Up videos. So this is actually going to be like the third installment of Fed Up. And I just been trying to research, look at stuff, listen to things, write it down, take my points, and help the people with what I've studied and what I learned and what I know. So that's what I've been doing.
And what he's referring to, if you've been under a rock, we're talking about the murders that have been going on across America involving our black men who have been unarmed, or one who was unarmed but complying with the officer and still was killed by an officer. And then also with the cops that were being killed in Dallas, like we all have our different views about that. And now they're coming out with a we can't just have Black Lives Matter. Now it's Blue Lives Matter, or All Lives Matters.
All lives matter.
So these people were gunned down unfairly, and it's just been a big uproar going on around the country. It's just, so it's been pretty heavy.
It's been pretty heavy, and it should be, because what's going on with our guys, what's going on with our people is pretty heavy on our backs for years and years and years. So it needs to be heavy. The subject should be heavy, and things that is what it's gonna take to change it is gonna be heavy.
It's gonna be majorly heavy. So, Story, I just want to bring you into this conversation. Okay, we all, like you said, unless you've been under a rock, honey, and you ain't doing nothing but sitting under that sedimentary rock. Yeah, I put that in there because I learned something in grade school about biology. Anyway, Story, I just want you to expound on this. What bothered you the most about these happenings? Austin, Sterling, or Philando, whichever one you want to pick.
Well, I can just go and say the both of them. Aside from, I think the media coverage on this from all last week has just been absurd. The media coverage, meaning there's such emphasis on what happened in Dallas, but not a lot of emphasis on what happened with Philando Castile and Alton Sterling. It's almost as if the event in Dallas, or I'm sorry, that's the wrong term because I don't want to call it event. The happening in Dallas completely overshadowed these two men. They are in the shadows right now because, again, when the flags went half staff across the country, when police officers lost their lives, those flags should have been half staff, period.
Yep.
Period. Because those police officers are not just the only servers of the public.
Mhm.
Artists are servers of the public.
Yes.
And whether or not Alton Sterling was selling bootleg CDs out his car, that was still a service to the public.
Yes.
And the way that I feel about it is that there's a lot of pushback in regards to why they actually were killed. There is no why. There is
Especially
no
when you have a video,
absolutely,
and we have our own eyes.
yeah.
Our eyes haven't deceived us too many times,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And we can tell by what happened in the footage that something just wasn't right.
Absolutely. And if you take note, they were talking about how Alton Sterling had a gun. Now, I looked at the zoomed in pictures of the video or whatnot. That cop didn't look like he was taking a gun out of his pocket.
No.
It looked like a wallet or a set of keys. But a gun, no matter how small it is, the butt of a gun is going to overpower a hand.
Yeah.
So you won't be able to tuck your hand like this and hide it. And number one, if the cops knew that there was a gun in his pocket, the person that's filming it, you saw it. Why didn't you make it available to the public?
Right.
No, because you knew you were lying.
Right.
You knew full well you were lying.
From the get, you knew that you were lying.
So what bothered you the most about it, John?
About this.
About those two events, either one or both.
Well, it's first of all, it's a shame that it continues to happen to us over and over again. That we are profiled. That we have these things happen to us just because of who we are in this country. It's just a sad situation altogether. And just to piggyback with the overshadowing of an outpour for these Dallas police officers. Now, God rest their souls. I don't want anyone to die. I don't want anyone to be hurt. But to the overshadowing that is happening right now, that is taken away from the family's grief, of our people's grief,
right,
of what happened,
yeah,
and the problem that continues to happen to our people for the raise or the lowering of flags for these men. I think it's very sad, and it just continues to show what this country thinks of our people.
Absolutely.
What do you think, Nycee? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
Go ahead.
Personally, what's going on is, I think, connected to a lot of events that's been going on, especially with the shooting of Orlando, the nightclub, and just things that are happening before this. I think that it's a process for us to see what's going on and how these cops are treating us to instill fear in us. I really do feel that way.
So
and maybe
I
think it's we've always, I guess, been trying to keep ourselves, from, I guess, being shot or, try to always comply with the police. But I think even when we do it, they just want to show that no matter what we do, we're going to always be defeated.
And to interject with this, like Story said, she said at first an event. To me, I do believe it is an event because the event is planned out.
I was thinking, actually, when you said that, I thought production.
I
thought production. I ain't gonna lie. When you said it,
it's planned out and orchestrated.
Yeah.
And so, in lieu of what's going on, these men were shot. These men were shot down. See, I had points on my other thing. How can we look at this whole thing? If you look at the videos,
he took notes, y'all. That's what I'm laughing about.
He
is his own journalist. He don't need no magazine.
I listen to every point these talk shows, radio shows, news shows say, so that I can continue to pay attention, and I can go back and look things up and see what is going on. But I just look at the video over and over again of this riots in Dallas at the time. If you pay attention to the videos, there was no police officer in riot gear. Now, riots are happening here all day long. Riots happen around the country day long in the last couple of days, in the last couple of weeks or whatever. And actually in the last year.
That's right.
Every time they have a riot gear, they're covered head to toe in plastic and all kind of things, and all kind of gun shielded things. But this particular ones, these special victim cops were there. These specialty police officers were there, and they were not covered in any way. Watch the videos. And I told my viewers and my people that have been watching me, watch the video. you don't see any. They're not covered up.
No.
They were open.
Yeah.
How many times do a regular police officer in a regular police uniform? They are padded and covered up in there because why? We all know what they have under there. What?
Bulletproof vest.
Bulletproof vest.
Bulletproof vest.
But why they don't have a bulletproof vest on at this thing? Why they are open to a sniper in this?
What bothered me, and we talked about this a little bit in the back, was that they said the police chief said that they used a bomb and they detonated a bomb
that kind of took me off
to kill this man. Now, two things came up in my mind. I only brought up one in the back. The one thing I thought about in the back was they also reported that this man had an opportunity to smear in his own blood some sort of message on the wall. So if you blew him up to little bitty pieces, how was he able to smear his blood on the wall to do a message?
To that time.
See, we got to even go before that. We got a few steps before we
but
get to this part of how they openly and just made judgments against this man right in front of him without even taking him. Because we had a white sniper went into a movie theater and took out a movie theater, and they took him out like he was
we can even go with Dylan Roof. I mean, the young man that walked into the church
and they bought him hamburgers.
They took that baby and bought him a hamburger.
They took him to McDonald's for a Happy Meal.
So we gotta go back. We gotta go before this. How this happened.
But this
is why I'm saying this is orchestrated, a whole orchestrated thing. Why? To introduce something called the blue laws.
And we're gonna talk about that because I want to get into that. But I do want to make one more point about what happened with this gentleman. Okay, they said that he was blown up to little bitty pieces, but he was still able to write this message on the wall with his blood and his finger.
But what was the message?
I don't know what the message was. They said it was like an encrypted message, which I believe is bull. But I also think about the fact that, okay, why would they blow him up? If they did blow him up, you can't go back and do autopsies. You can't go and see what's wrong with his head.
Blow you up if I have to cover up a whole production.
They don't know how much drugs they didn't put. We don't know if there's drugs. We don't know any. I'm just saying, like, there's a variety of things that could have come out of us having that body with us.
Yeah.
No, having him being able to say, I didn't do it. Just like they did those two young men who they said at first did it, and they said absolutely not. Which thank God for live videos, thank God for cameras these days, because so many young men are being exonerated, so to speak, in because of video, because they're thinking thinking quickly to take a video of themselves, because this guy didn't have opportunity. They picked to me, I believe this is what I'm saying. I don't know if to be true, but what I'm saying is they picked up a former officer of the law of the I won't say law of the army, because that's a different branch and different things. A former officer of a different part of government, a different part of service, and they seen him with dashikis on his Facebook page and took some pictures of him, and now this is our point of target.
I think that one of the major things about that entire incident with gentlemen that they blew to smithereens is, number one, you took an image of him wearing a dashiki and holding a black fist in the air. Do you know the kind of message that sends to white America? Exactly. It is suggestive. It is very propaganda-ish.
Yes.
In a sense, because now I wear dashikis all the time.
Right.
Maybe you ladies, maybe you wear dashikis all the time.
I wear them every Sunday.
So now you got cats that's going to be actually side-eyeing us, figuring like, okay, are they terrorists? And that's the message that to me is the misleading message that's being translated across the platforms. That black people are always militant, that we are angry.
Well, no, don't say that we're always militant. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to tell you what to say, but that the moment we speak up for ourselves, we're militant. We're militant, and or that we show our pride.
Exactly.
That's what I mean. I didn't mean to say don't say that.
Therein lies the disconnect right there. Not to mention, even the first gentleman that was actually accused of something. What did you do? You didn't get the proof. You splattered his face all over CNN, all over MSNBC, and every other media outlet, and he wasn't even the person. He wasn't the person that they should have called.
Which means that wasn't the purpose.
That wasn't exactly. So now he already has his face on a platform that he shouldn't have his face on. So now that makes him uncomfortable. And how convenient would it be that it was his brother who actually planned the protest? So how convenient would that be? Here's a person that you're wrongly accusing. His brother is the organizer of the protest. You see where I'm going with this here?
Yes.
That to me, that's propaganda.
Yeah.
That right there just suggests that here's a whole series of things that happened in Dallas, and here's the groove. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it and say, oh my God, I'm terribly sorry about everything that happened in Dallas.
I can't say that. I can say
Malcolm
that either.
X said it clearly when JFK was assassinated. The chickens have come home to roost. This is a result of a failed system that you created, designed to protect the American citizens. And what did it do? It failed us over and over and over again. So now that those chickens have come home to roost, you have all these dead officers, and Blue Lives Matter. Blue Lives Matter, true indeed, but so do Black lives, so do white lives,
Right.
so do Asian lives, so do any world. But at the end of the day, you can't show a sense of and I hate to use this term, but favoritism, if
Right.
you will.
It is.
Okay, that this person's life is more valuable service. No, that's crap.
No.
That's crap.
And then who is he of service to?
Exactly.
That's the question.
And if you and here's my issue. If you disarm me, we're talking a lot about gun laws. People kill people.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Guns are held by people that kill other people.
Right.
So if you, let's say they impose these stricter gun laws and they implement that throughout the cities of the United States of America, you take my gun from me, who's going to protect me from you?
Right.
From the illegal guns as well.
Exactly.
That are being dropped off in the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Dropped right off.
And
Ask
to piggyback
Inglewood.
on that story, it won't be the other sides, the other people that will not have problems getting a gun. It will only be
Us.
Our people. That's right.
It will only be us who can't get a gun.
But we
So-
got access to them now. That's the funny part.
That's the
Because
funny part.
when it's about money, moving things and moving things out of the way for real estate, for different things, they'll make sure that the community is full of drugs. They'll make sure that the community is full of guns.
Yep.
Just what happened on the South Side. How convenient do you let a group of boys know that it's automatic weapons on a train that's happen to be stopped on the road? How convenient do you let them know that that's there? How does that happen?
Yeah.
How does
Because
that make the
they want
news?
you to do that.
Exactly.
They want you to know that it's right there, and they want them kids to get those guns because they know that their minds are
With
in a different
ammunition
place.
as well.
Exactly.
It's in
Very
a different
good
place.
point.
And to go back to real quick about Dallas. Hey, Hunter Crenshaw, I love you. You know I do. And to speak about like this tragedy in Dallas. I've been watching all of these affiliates, these news shows, and all of these things, and to hear the comments from the black guests or commentators or stars, it is deplorable.
Let's talk about that.
It is the craziest thing in the whole wide world to me.
Yes,
not
sir.
for my people to take a stand. But see, that's the problem what I have with the blue lives. It's the blue lives that are black. That's the ones I have a problem with. So that's two things. We can go back to that. But watching The View and watching the Whoopi Goldberg push the young lady, Philando Castile's girlfriend, trying to push her into a direction to say certain things that has nothing to do with it, to overshadow continue to talk to her about the police in Dallas.
Right.
You don't care about your people. You don't care about what's going on. What you care about is your dollar and ABC and those affiliates that
Well,
put
let's
you on
talk
TV.
about that
Well,
because we do have a clip, and I'm trying to get to it, but I'm having a little trouble with my internet right now. But there was a clip that Deion Cole posted, and Nycee, I want you to do the question of the day real quick. Can you give me the question of the day?
Sure. So with Deion Cole, he posted a video about managing your blackness. So you're a black person, and you're pretty much saying that things are happening to us because we are managing we aren't managing our blackness. So my question is, what does it mean to you when you actually hear someone, it can be black or white, or, not even a white person just saying this, a person of color saying this, that, we have to manage our blackness?
Well, can I play the clip? Can I play the clip if y'all don't mind, just so that everybody can hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. I'm about to play the clip, y'all. Stay tuned. Also, call in 708-223-8953 if you have any questions, opinions, or statements to make about our subject matter today. Let's talk about it.
708-223-8953.
About me saying manage your blackness. I mean, manage your blackness until we deal with the government and the police department about change, about how they deal with us. You have to manage your blackness because you ain't got no rights out here. Quit thinking that you do. So quit bringing attention your way. After you leave a club, quit riding around at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. Take your ass home. Quit drinking in front of liquor stores. Quit hanging out in gas stations and shit. You ain't got to do that. Take your ass home. Bunch of comments about, yeah, I ain't about to do that. I got rights. What I look like complying and shrinking and getting small or whatever. I ain't about to do that. But what are you going to do? I got a gang of comments about what you not going to do. I ain't got one about what you going to do. What the fuck you going to do? Ain't nobody left that yet, right? Because you want to keep talking about what you not going to do. Fuck out of here. Manage your fucking blackness. Be smart.
That's about the dumbest thing.
And that's smart.
Wait a minute. I want y'all to pause for 1 second because I want to make sure I load this because y'all be snapping on Facebook and I just want to make sure that this is juicy stuff is on my page. Wait a minute now. So y'all should have seen Story's face while I was running that. Oh, that was amazing, and I want you to respond, but I just want to talk. I want to make sure it's on Facebook. So
excuse the language, but people are really out here.
And I'm doing so good because I curse a lot. And so I'm doing really good.
People are really out here saying that we are not managing our blackness.
Okay.
How do you manage who you are?
How do you manage? Oh, I can't get it on right, y'all. Help me, Jesus. Okay.
Somebody go before I jump
Okay,
in.
Go ahead, Story. I want to hear her first reaction.
That's probably the stupidest thing I have ever heard.
Managing your blackness?
You've never heard that before?
I
mean, like, you don't know how to like manage your blackness.
I've never heard. First of all, if you want to manage your blackness, manage your $1.3 trillion capital that we actually have as a collective buying power in this country. That's how you manage your blackness. I hope Dion Cole is watching this because first of all, I'm disappointed in him.
Me too.
Because and if I can say this term, that was real foot shuffling, Uncle Tom, real coonery happening right there.
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, don't tell a bunch of black people that they don't have any rights. That's the problem in the country.
That's the problem.
Right
That's
now.
what they want you to think.
They want you to think that.
Rights. They want you to think that
you don't have any rights here. You need to quit doing this, quit doing that. Well, first of all, I can specifically say you shouldn't speak the way you do on television. Manage your blackness.
Right.
I mean,
on a show called Blackish.
On a show called Blackish.
Because that's what he was really doing, managing his Blackish. She's managing his money because that's all he cared about. You wanted to speak out because you know where you come from, the South Side of Chicago.
He surely
so you want
does
to
come from the South
speak
Side
out
of
and
Chicago.
say something. But what you really trying to do is hold on to them coins. Just shut up, brother, and get on stage and do comedy.
But I don't even want to see you do comedy because now I know that you shucking and jiving.
Now to be on TV for your TV and news affiliates, just like Steve Harvey got up there, you telling your sons to tape up their registration and their stuff to. We should not have to do that.
And then let me tell you what would happen.
To do it.
You put it on, you tape it on the windows, then they'll say that's a distraction. You can't see nothing through the window.
And then you're getting a ticket.
Now you're getting a ticket.
So what we gonna do? What we need to do, what you need to do, Dion Cole, is stand up and be a black man and say it ain't right and what we gotta do to change it.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about endorsements and investments into a lot of these artists or a lot of these celebrities. Okay, because at the end of the day, let's talk about that. Black people only have the money that is given to them by their endorsements.
Right.
I.e. Wendy Williams.
Yes.
She got her Chevy endorsement snatched from her, and rightfully so. Because do you know how many African Americans drive Chevy's brand?
Yes.
Chevy doesn't want that heat on
right,
them to
especially when they made a living off of us all these years.
It's suggesting that we're actually endorsing what she said. So Chevy said, to hell with that. We're going to cut our ties. We're going to just not deal with her at all. And rightfully so. Again, the black dollar, the black elite, let's start with them. They can do so much more than what they're doing right now. It's sickening because at the end of the day, a prime example, Beyonce told us to get in formation weeks ago. We still in formation waiting on instructions and I ain't heard nothing yet.
And that's another thing.
And what they really should have been hearing when she said that is not just get in formation, not in a formation, but she's saying get in formation.
in your mind.
Get your mind together.
Get your
Look for some information to help you to another level, because she's seeing things that she knows what's coming. As a person in talking to political figures and traveling around the world, she sees things just like I go. Or when I go overseas, and I look at America and I see stuff that y'all don't get to see. That they play on news about what's happening in America.
Oh yeah, and we know that.
So it's stuff that people know outside of our country and outside of ourselves
that we don't even know ourselves.
We don't want to listen to that. We just want to dance.
Right, but I get what Story is saying.
No,
She's saying right. I mean, well, no, I understand you're agreeing, but what I'm saying is like she's still saying what if people who can't or don't have access to get information, she still hasn't given us any information.
That's right. She's still exactly. So at the end of the day, we're talking about, and again, I'm not bashing any celebrities, but what
I'm bashing.
But what I will say is this: if there's a lot of people who don't have access to information.
Right.
There's a lot of people who actually believe that there's nothing wrong with the state of the black delegation of the United States of America. There are actually people out here that believes this. So therefore,
we're just not managing our blackness.
We're not managing our blackness. That's what it is. So you got people that are out here who actually have the platform, that are actually putting this thing on the forefront. Give people the information they need to be successful. That is why I am consistent. Every single day, I post something about a black-owned business, something about black cosmetics, something about taking your money out of Citibank and Chase and Bank of America and find yourself a 100%
Seaway Bank or
exactly. And then you got and here's the thing that I have an issue with. You got a lot of hoteps out here giving a whole lot of information, but you're not giving them survival techniques.
Exactly.
So yes, here's a lot of information. Take all this,
but they're not telling you how to do what.
They're not telling you how to even actually use it and how to even survive after you've been given this information.
Because once you do that kind of emancipating, it's a lot that goes with it.
It does, but and I want to talk about that too. I want to talk about that. See, I did get a lot of text messages over the weekend about who to boycott and send this message and forward this to your friends.
Shut up about your plans.
So they told us, boycott this big business on this date, and on Tuesday do this and on. Okay, so I got this text. It's two things I want to bring up personally, and I'm sorry if I offend friends and family, but I'm just gonna keep it real today. So I got a text message from my girlfriends, and it said to ban, shopping at Target. Okay, real talk. I love Target. I go in Target and I turn up in Target all the time. Okay, have a good old time spending money I should not spend in Target. But once they ask me to stop shopping in Target, and I've heard it, from people that are considered leaders, like in the small communities of leaders that we do have, I said, okay, I'll roll with it, because I don't want to be that person and say that I got this information and I didn't apply it. So I did. I said, okay, I'm gonna roll with it, right? The text message I got from my friend, I love you, friend. You know who you are. If you listen, I need a shirt. And I know that this shirt is available at Target. So y'all need to tell me where the hell to go besides Target. He was actually mad, that she had to shop somewhere else. It was like such a big sacrifice. Seems like to me, we want all these changes, but we're not willing to sacrifice anything.
But we have, and we also have to think about it like this: we have been rubbed down with conveniences,
right?
Rubbed down with conveniences. So we have gotten into a way of life. So it would be hard for people to say, "Hey, I'm going to do this," especially when in our communities we don't have stores readily available to go to.
But there's a such thing as sacrifice too.
No, I'm not taking, and I get you. I'm not taking away from sacrifice. I'm thinking about the majority of people. Like, we are people who are conscious, who are going to read, who are going to look, who are going to find where to go, because we want things to change. And our art, we use our art, we use our life, we use our everything to try to push change. But we have to think about those people every day that we go around driving next to, working next to, riding next to. They do not think like that.
You know what? If I could piggyback off what he just said, and something I was actually having a discussion with someone earlier about this very same subject. You got Target. Target is let's say roughly $200 to $300 billion in money. You have Walmart, who's about $400 billion.
I don't even mess with Walmart.
Exactly. No one messes with Walmart, but there's somebody does.
Right. Apparently. Right.
So these two industries still don't topple what we are as a collective buying power. So I'm going to go ahead and go here. Someone said that I'm not going to boycott any of the major industries because they didn't do anything to us. It's about the funding that's being poured into the police, and that's actually treating us, that they're the ones that are treating us the way that they are. When you understand that you are still a part of the 99%, and the 1% is the ones that actually control the money in all of the world, it is still legitimate that you would boycott places like Target.
This is my thinking behind, and I know, and John, you just said that we're conscious minds, but then I think about the fact that the first thing, we coming up in the world when they build a Target in our neighborhood. Right. We can understand that when they're bringing Walmarts and Targets in our neighborhood. We can understand the jobs. We can understand the BS jobs that they give us, and the battles that we have to get the pay that we want in. But we can't understand us not supporting or boycotting them, and that's not an effect. That doesn't.
But that's, you know what I mean. Let's go back to what you just said. We're talking Target. This is a company who's about $300 billion in investment. Pay your workers $8.50 an hour.
Right.
To me, you are blatantly telling people who are below the poverty line that here's this money, we're going to give you this, and we're going to work you doubly more hard than we actually work the executives, and we're going to have you you're the bottom. Put it this way, people in the grocery stores and the customer services and those people who are standing on those lines right there, they are considered that's the chain gang,
right? Because
at the end of the day, they're the bottom of the food chain, so to speak, because they don't make nowhere near the money that they
need to make.
Exactly. So the day when you talk about boycotting specific stores and things of that nature, I can understand why, because here's what our people don't know. Our major distributors that we own.
Right.
We don't know that there are a lot of Black-owned beauty supply stores.
Hello, Thai Accessories, my business, my mama's store. She has a beauty supply that's been open for 23 years.
Look at all the Black business that you see on Facebook from people that you know. You can go here and spend all minute one of us ask you to come buy a ticket to a show, you
child,
and but you'll go spend $200.
I spent my whole life. I swear to God.
Who Michael Jordan has not made one mention. Don't give a dog.
Ain't said nothing
about none of us, and y'all buy $200 and $300
gym shoes.
Every time they come out, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul to get a pair of shoes. But I wanted to say this to piggyback off again what Story was saying and what Frankie was saying. What people need to do, if they can say that they don't that the big business didn't do anything to me, so I'm going to support them. So I want you all to stop saying that, because I want you to do your research and see that most companies own each other, and then most companies they buy into real estate to build these places, which is a part of gentrification for neighborhoods, which in turn they are all part of owners of prison systems.
Let's go
You better talk, Mr. John.
So wait 1 second. So they all into prison systems. I can show you through one thing. You go on Expedia to buy you a plane ticket, and they say we're gonna give you the fine. But did you know that Expedia company owns Travelocity? This one of them. You have to understand and do the research underneath it to find out that not fair to you. They're not being fair to you.
Let's just think about basic thinking, though. Let's think about the fact that we have a thing called a stockholder.
Yeah.
Okay, and stockholders can own as many shares as they want based on the parameters of that company and how much they're going to allow you to own, right? Millionaires and billionaires make millions and billions off of stocks. So they take that money and then they invest in the political parties that they want.
That's right.
They invest in...
They create the government.
Exactly.
They raise them in,
right.
This happened.
Well, if you already know, we're speaking on, Michael Jordan is definitely a major investor in prison systems.
Exactly.
Yeah. So to know that on your feet, you're helping your brothers go to jail. You help your sisters go right to jail.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. This is what we have to also understand too. Everybody not as black as we are. You got a lot of people.
Are we over managing or under managing our blackness?
Our blackness.
Right. We're too black now.
So you got to understand. Not as black as we are. Not everybody's walking around with the green, yellow, and red on the or black. What is it? Black, green, and red.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not everybody's doing that. Not everybody's celebrating their blackness. Michael Jordan was all good when he was in Chicago and he was winning all those championships and he had a black wife with his black kids and his black family and black. But then again, what happens with a lot of people, especially high-end celebrities, they get up this food chain, they go up the food chain, they go up the ladder, and they're there. And at this point, and now they've already toppled over. So now they're getting into other things. They're getting into other endorsements. And right now, it's all about the mighty green. It has nothing to do with black and white. It has
Absolutely.
everything
It's
to do
always
with
been about green.
Right.
It's always about
greed.
Just right now, if you think of it, this entire thing that's happening with the black race, and the white race, it's green. It's
green.
all money.
So let's talk about.
Can I piggyback off that real quick to help everybody at home listening and understanding? So my sister is right on it. Story is so good. I love it. But see, the slave system changed. We thought it ended.
It was abolished.
It was abolished back in the day, but it actually wasn't. So when Delano Roosevelt, the president, do I got his name right? I'm talking fast. Delano Roosevelt came into the Social Security system. That's called technology in slavery.
That's
because
right.
it enslaved everybody. So when you were born of your mother, when you came out the womb,
and you got that number,
and you got your Social Security number, you were stamped as a product. It's called maritime law. So look it up. It's a product. When it docks on land, you are given a Social Security number.
Right.
So everybody, that's why it is not black or white, but they want to keep you in a color system and keep you in an oppressed mind so that you will stay blind, so they can keep levels of control. Because don't think that the white people up north, or those of you in Chicago watching or listening to us, or like I can speak for where I know. So the white people up north, they are just as oppressed in tickets and just as oppressed in their thing. It's just like they're telling them, you need to live out here in the suburbs to be the best. Because you white, you gotta pay triple double to live out here so you can be better. Then they'll tell you, black person, now they've been all them years, there's some good houses out there. Follow them.
Right.
Then they gonna tell her, well, if you want to be good, look at the black people out there, Mexicans, go out there and do it. Then and so on and so on. Now they telling me, to be the best, to be what you need to do. You need to buy $1 million condo in the city. We've changed the city back.
You have to also understand too, brother, that it's also relative to it's like a it's like a hamster wheel.
Absolutely.
In a sense. You go here and this is where the money is. Go here,
Follow.
go here,
Right.
go here. And but wait a minute. Go over here because the money's over here, and it's at the end of the day, it's all about investment.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, we were just
All
talking
about
about that last night. I mean, earlier today, we were talking about the properties and how it's changing. I live in West Pullman. I just pulled up an article that said that West Pullman just raised its median house rates up 15% in 1 year.
Yes.
So they're coming after these neighborhoods. I'm telling my husband every day. My husband and my brother-in-law were blessed to have a piece of property given to them practically in a neighborhood on a block in West Pullman. Okay. I'm telling them, hang on to this building, because they are going to change this neighborhood. And every day I drive down the street, I see new streets being paved. That ain't for us. New schools have been built. That ain't for us. They got a strip of new commercial businesses and new commercial real estate signs on 119th, 111. They already started in Marshfield on 117th, where all those big businesses are now. They are not playing. They want this land as prime land, and they know that. So they're giving us guns. And they're saying, okay, go ahead, kill yourself. But now we got to figure out what it's for us.
Again, it goes back to our point when we say that this is why when you don't want to boycott these big businesses, they are helping to push this along.
Exactly.
They are helping push it.
Why wouldn't you? If you can get cheap land to build out new businesses to make even more money.
This is what they want to do.
And they've been doing it. I had a classmate a couple of years ago who said that her grandmother actually had to move out of their building because of the landlord selling the building so it can be torn down. They're giving all of this money for it to be torn down and be a part of what's happening down there in the South Loop of Chicago.
That's crazy.
I'll do you one even better. The east side of Chicago is where I reside.
Uh-huh.
You're talking about South Shore.
You were talking about that.
We're talking
Chestnut has big,
that's
beautiful
Alderman,
houses.
what's her Alderman Hairston.
86,
yeah, right there. So I'm right there on 71st, let's say Jeffrey. I remember when I first moved over there about 4 years ago, there was a whole lot of traffic. There was a whole lot of guys. There's a whole lot of hangout, a whole lot of okay. Now, where the Dominics used to be, there's going to be a Charter Fitness there. Okay. Now, if you kind of go a little bit west and a little bit north, right down the corner where that bank used to be, they're turning that entire banking space right there into what you call like a movie theater / dinner type of bowling alley.
Right.
Now, take note. There's no grocery store in
food
this
desert
area. It's a food
desert.
Now I want you now follow me where I'm going. There's no food here. There's no grocery store. But you put a Charter Fitness there. You put like you're gonna put a bowling alley, and that's like $8 million.
Right.
But then when I went to the town hall meeting, they didn't know anything about a grocery store. They had a grocery store on Stony. There was one at the Aldi's on 67th and Cottage Grove, something like that. The idea is that it's not just meant to drive you out. It's to drive you out and keep you out.
Right.
Because here's South Shore, prime real estate.
Peel Hill.
I mean, Peel Hill.
Yes.
You're talking UIC students, UFC students.
Chatham neighborhoods.
All those areas are directly impacted by gentrification all day long. And I know this because I've watched it happen.
I'm watching it every day.
I believe that's why they were trying to get rid of Chicago State.
Yeah, directly behind the Dominic. So I grew up in that area, 74th and Merrill, 78th and South Shore. So that's why I was just telling them earlier about the whole east side along the lake, all the way up until 87th Street.
That's right.
They taking all of the companies down.
But did y'all hear what Nycee just said? But did y'all hear what Nycee just said?
I'm telling you
about Chicago State.
I was saying that's probably why they were trying to shut down Chicago State.
Bingo. That's a good
because they didn't want that college there. It was first off, they could use that land for something else.
Yeah.
But then it's just like having this I would say predominantly black school
and it was
for us. You know, Chicago the state schools were meant to be
a specialized HBCU. Us. They had, named it as that special
but
HBCU.
Most state colleges were, I think, created for the African Americans.
That's right.
But to have them shut that down, that would have been like land that they would have taken over, of course.
And they were waiting.
And
because they didn't think that we were going to fight for it.
Okay, so we only got a few minutes, and I want to bring this up
because
we only got probably like 2 minutes. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it went that fast, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna run this over, John. If I can get you to just share this on your page, your Facebook Live, since George was the only one that didn't stop, because I want people to actually hear this discussion.
Absolutely.
Oh, we had 7 minutes. Oh, hallelujah for the extra. But I do want to talk about this. I want to talk about the All Lives Matter hashtag. God. Okay, so listen, I'm putting all my personal business out here, and I'm probably gonna get a phone call about this. But I had a cousin. He lives in Minnesota, and he posted on Facebook that he's tired of seeing Black Lives Matter because there's so much black on black crime going on in our neighborhoods. So with that being said, I can only say that all lives matter until blacks stop killing themselves. And his argument was that we can't do anything for ourselves until we stop hurting ourselves. And my question was, first of all, how do you know that there aren't people out here trying to change ourselves? And secondly, what are you doing? That's so right. My question, that was my question I couldn't say anything else because I was a little frustrated behind that. And then I have some background on my cousin, so I know some of the reasons why he's a little partial to that all lives matter, because he's big into interracial relationships, where there's nothing wrong with that, but it gets to a point where it kind of warps your thinking.
That's right.
That's a problem. So let's talk about that hashtag, All Lives Matter.
First of all, there's no such thing as black on black crime. White people kill white people. Asian people kill Asian people. Indian people kill Indian people. Puerto Ricans kill Puerto Ricans. That's a part of media propaganda. It's a part to push us into that direction. Now,
contemporary Willie Lynch?
Absolutely. Now, all lives matter. I don't know how many times we have to really explain what that means, and it sort of pisses me off because it's like I shouldn't have to explain this. To suggest that all lives matter does not mean that all lives doesn't matter. Right. What we're talking about are black lives that are constantly being taken hand over fist, whether it's by our own or the police. Black Lives Matter. And I really wish that people would take some time to do a little bit of research before they go flipping off at the mouth saying something that they don't even know what it means.
First thing he said was in defense was, I'm from the city. I'm from 47.
That ain't got nothing to do with
But you ain't never been here. I ain't never seen you on no corner talking to no young men.
Exactly.
I ain't never seen you go out to no events, to no alderman meetings, to none of that.
You don't get to be the super black person of the day because you was raised in 47.
Right.
Yeah. We need cousin to get some pride in himself, and because he's really wasting his space. Eyes to have to read his stuff. But yeah, when people throw up like, what about black on black crime?
Yeah, because I have a question. Like, people say we bring this upon ourselves. What's happening to us? Like,
but that's what they do. That's another thing what media does to us. We make everything turn to us. They try to make the gorilla killing the gorilla's killing about the man.
It was the mother. It was a Latin. Wasn't it a Latin mother or something like that? Or was that
she was a black mother.
A black mother, okay.
The whole situation with the kid.
They try to make it like it was the parents' fault instead of about
and then they mourn the loss of the gorilla.
Yeah.
They
try to make it about the parents.
Well, if I can say this, and this is a piggyback off of what Nycee said, because I know you guys got 3 minutes. We were brought to this country. Okay, we were enslaved. Then after they found out that enslavement was unconstitutional, we were emancipated, allegedly. After we were emancipated, they still went on a hunt and they killed us. After we went a little bit further north, what began after that was the civil rights movement. And after Dr. King and Malcolm X died, killed. I'm sorry, killed. They lied. Civil rights movement lied dormant for a very long time. And what you're seeing right now is a continuation of what's happening right now from the civil rights movement. Absolutely. And now what's happening is that technology is more vast. Right. Information is more already on. Accessible. You got these more accessible. You got all these other different outlets that people can actually absolutely express themselves. And again, this is something that has been established since our establishment here in this country. You cannot suggest that black people are killing each other because that's what we choose to do. That is called Jim Crow. Right. Look it up. Find out what it means.
With a touch of genocide.
With a small.
With a little dash of genocide.
Absolutely.
There.
So you're talking about this is something that's been going on since our establishment in this country. So therefore, everything that you're seeing right now is a result of what has already been.
And in that time, since Dr. King and since Malcolm X, we have people who have been living their lives like your cousin. They've been pretending that they are fine, or
right, or they are part of the majority.
They are not.
But how delusional are you though? Think about it. Think about the frame of mind. That was
a success story in the state of delusion.
They are delusional, sister. They go past it every day, just like we have our white counterparts who are very delusional in what's going on around them when it's concerning us. Yes. How they can look at a situation and ask if he was a criminal or not, because he said he complied to everything this officer asked him to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, I do want to say out there in Radio Land, we do have to close because we're up, but we do need to continue this discussion. Yes. I don't want this discussion to stop here. I want it to continue in your homes, with your children, on your couch, with your friends. If you got to cook dinner, y'all sit around and have a round table about it, then talk. There's not a lot of people on my stream like there was when we were goofing off. Okay, but I want to share this information and hope that we can touch somebody today in our words. And Nycee just wanted to just talk about you guys for a little bit, and then we're going to close out. Okay.
Okay. So first off, I want to thank the both of you for coming on the show today.
We appreciate it.
Discussion is always a great, thing to do, just to get the information out there for people to understand that this is really not a game.
That's right.
So first off, Miss Story Devereaux, where can we find you next?
Oh man, you can find me everywhere. Actually, I'm working on a project right now.
Yay!
We're starting production on it. You know who the fella is, Plu Harmon.
Yes, I do.
So he's going to be executive producing my project.
Okay.
And that's going to be really awesome. And then I have some other things coming up on the forefront. So right now I'm just recording, and you can reach me at www.storydevereaux.com. And that handle, you can find it everywhere. Just put the name in Google And I'm some of it.
And what's it again? www.
www.storidevera. No shit.
Okay.
Shoot. I'm sorry. STORIE.
Yes, we got it a cuss.
REAUX.
And our ratings just went all the way up.
Okay, Mr. John Pierce. Now, where can we find you next? What's going on with your artistry right now?
I'm doing a couple of things. Right now, I'm actually writing and working on some new music for a new project. Working on some concert stuff. And you can go online and find me and Google John Pierce, JONPIERCE, and you can find videos and my music of me performing and different things. So yeah, look me up in that way and just look out for me, especially my viewers. Thank you all for watching this. We have a lot more we probably want to say, but I just thank
We might
Frankie and
have to
Nycee
bring
for the
them back.
opportunity
Or do it after
to
Frankie and Nycee show.
to speak our pieces and to tell you some more things I would like to tell you. But it's been wonderful.
Thank you, Story. Thank you, John. Thank you, Nycee, for being a great co-host as usual. And my name is Miss Frankie Parker with the broke arm trying to hold this thing up over here. Thank you to everyone that came out to Promontory last night from my performance of the Corner series. And we're going to wrap up by saying that stay informed. Pick up a book.
Amen.
Go online. Watch CNN with your eyes wide open.
Yes, indeed.
And make sure you pay it forward by sharing this information with someone that may be a little more ignorant about it.
And talk
about it.
And
so
talk. We need to talk to each other.
Thanks again for joining the Frankie and Nycee radio show on IntellectualRadio.com, iHeartRadio. And we will see you next week with our special guest, Toby. Hey, Toby, I know you watching, girl. I know you watching. I know why, too. So make sure y'all tune in next week, and we will have more subject matter. God bless y'all.
Somebody the other day asked me about how I feel about home, the state of home. Well, I say like this: ever been coming home after a long day of work and you see that gas station or that corner store, and you stop there and get your last few things before you go in for the night, and you feel safe before you actually reach your home. So now imagine coming home and that store's burned down and that gas station is boarded up. It removes that feeling of safe, that feeling of comfort, that feeling of home before you reach your home. Me personally, I would never want to destroy that feeling before I reach my home. If I destroy that feeling is destroyed by someone else, I would want to move. So why would I want to destroy home?